In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to make a column graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2010. If you have a different version of Microsoft Office, or if you're using Mac, things might look a little bit different for you, but you should still be able to hunt and find the same features that I'm showing you today. So we're using heart rate data here, going from rest to 10 minutes of exercise, and we're going to use these data for two different groups to show you how to make a column graph. As is the case with any type of graph that you're going to make, you're not going to use individual subject data like is listed in the rows. Instead, we're going to represent the mean of each group, the means and the standard deviations for each of these groups. This is the treatment group up here, and this is the control group or the placebo group. You'll see that what I've already done, and that's the first step of creating a column graph, is to go ahead and arrange your data in a logical fashion. So instead of having it organized the way that it was previously, this is all raw data, I went ahead and I just separated it out into rest and 10 minutes. And for resting values, we've got values for the control group and the treatment group, and the same at 10 minutes we have values for the control group and for the treatment group. And we have for each of those time points the mean and standard deviation. So the first step in creating a column graph is to highlight for the control group the first mean, hold down Control, and click on the second mean. And so we're going to go up here to the Insert tab, and we're going to select Column, and we want the first option in the top left-hand corner. And what we're going to get is a graph that is going to represent the mean resting heart rate for the control group and the mean 10-minute heart rate for the control group. The horizontal axis right now is just representing the number of data points. We have 2 data points. We're going to want to change that, and the way we do that is by right-clicking on the graph, going to select Data, and we want to edit that horizontal axis. For the data label range, instead of it just being 2 data points, we want to left-click on this box, and then we want to click on Rest, holding down Control, click on 10 minutes, and you'll see that that updates on the graph. We also want to edit the existing series so that we give it a name. And the name of that will be placebo or control. Let's this time use control. That's only one data series for the control group, and we need to add an additional series. So let's go ahead and add that now, and the series name is going to be treatment. I can either type in that name, or I can go ahead and click on one of the boxes that says treatment. And you see now in the legend that we're going to have a data series that comes up red that represents the treatment group. For the treatment values, again, we're going to select the box, and now we want the mean resting heart rate for the treatment group. While holding down Control, I'm going to click on the second value, which represents the 10-minute heart rate for the treatment group, and now we'll see that data series pop up. No difference at rest, and a slightly lower heart rate at 10 minutes for the treatment group compared with the control group. So now we can go ahead and click OK and start to format this graph the way that we need it to APA standards. There are several things that are wrong here that just will not do. So one of the things that we need to add are axes titles, and we can go ahead and do that now. If we go to Layout, we want to go to Axis Title, and let's do the horizontal axis. And the horizontal axis, there's not really a good name for this horizontal axis, but we'll call it time. And in this case, there aren't really units because rest doesn't have a time. On the vertical axis, we will select a rotated title, and that rotated title will be heart rate. Be sure you put in the units for heart rate, and those units are beats per minute. Other things that are wrong with this figure right now, we don't want these horizontal grid lines, so if you select one of them and hit backspace or delete, you will eliminate those. Some other problems that we have, we're not really filling up and utilizing the space here, so I'm going to take this legend and I'm going to drag it over here to the interior of the figure, and then I'm going to drag the inside of the figure over to the right. Other problems. With APA format, you can only use white, black, and gray, and we currently have red and blue bars. So we're going to format these data series. If you right-click on a data series and go to Format Data Series, the first one we're going to use is white. And when you use a white fill, or in this particular case you can use no fill, the problem is that now you won't see the bar at all because it's against a white backdrop. So what we're going to do is right click on that, and under Format Data Series we're going to give it a border. The border is going to now be a solid line, and we're going to do that in black. Now we can see the white bars with a black border. For the red data series that represents the treatment group, we're going to use the next color up and go from white to gray. I like using gray and white instead of black and white because when you put black error bars on a black bar, you won't see the negative error. So I'm going to change it from red to gray. Format Data Series, we want the fill to be a solid fill, and we'll use a gray. I also like, against a white backdrop, for these bars to have a black border, so I'm going to do that just like I did for the white. Again, for the border color, we'll use a solid line, and we'll use black, which is the default. Alright, that looks good. We're still not done because we need to add our error bars, and there's really no particular order that you have to go in to do the formatting on the figure, but let's make sure that you have both the means, which is what the bar height represents, as well as the error bars. So we're going to add the error bars by right-clicking or by clicking on the figure, going to, again, we're on the Layout tab, go to Error Bars, and there are a lot of error bar options. We're going to go to more error bar options because we want to customize this. We'll do it for the control group first, and the control group, remember, are going to be the white bars, and we want to specify a custom value. So we'll select Custom, Specify Value, and for the positive error, we are going to want the standard deviation for the resting control and the 10-minute control. We'll do the same thing for the negative error. We want the resting control and the 10-minute control. And we'll need to repeat this process for the treatment group. So I can either right-click on the figure, or I can go ahead and highlight a data series, and we can add error bars in this way. Select Custom, Specify Value, and now we want the positive and negative error representing the treatment group. So treatment group at rest, treatment group at 10 minutes, that's the positive, and we'll do the same thing for the negative, treatment group at rest and at 10 minutes. And now we have pretty close to what is a nicely formatted, complete column graph. I'm going to do a couple of things to clean things up here. That all looks pretty good. Now the last thing that we have that's wrong with this figure is that the entire figure, all of the text within it, needs to be in Times 12-point font to replicate what you have in the rest of your manuscript, and right now we're using a different font. So if you click not on the inside but click on the outside of the figure, go to the Home tab and change the font to Times 12-point, you'll notice that the entire figure all of the text within that figure will automatically change to a 12-point font. We can now take this figure and we can copy and paste it either into PowerPoint or into a Word document. Be careful when you copy and paste that you don't click on the inside of the figure where you can see the inside box and the outside box. You want to click on only the outside box, right click, copy, and then we'll just paste this into a Word document. Be sure to paste that as a picture so that you don't have to worry about any sort of formatting changes when you deal with resizing and moving the figure around.